Hello, everyone who is coming, who is joining. Okay, I think that we can start. Everyone have the picture and the voice, right? Okay. If something wrong, please write in the chat and we will fix it. Hello, FIDE Infinite Chess family. I'm happy to welcome you. My name is Maria Tomkovic. I'm coordinator of the project. For those who haven't seen me before, I'm happy to welcome you at our fourth online educational seminar for chess teachers and tutors, Chess for Children with Autism Spectrum Disorder, Learn and Teach. Thank you all for your time and for the initiative to help those amazing kids. We really value it. And for the moment, we are running. Please mute your microphones. For the moment, we are running the project in 15 countries worldwide. And as you know, our project is not about quantity, but about quality. This is why the most important part of our project and the preparation for it, and the very important event today, this seminar. The main goal is to discuss the methodology, how to teach chess with autism spectrum disorder, but also provide necessary support and assistance to all the partners who are joining. Before I give to our project leaders, I'm sorry, I will check, not muted. Before I give something wrong with this. Give me a second, please. If you will have some questions during the presentations of our speakers, I kindly ask you to note them, because in the end of the seminar, we will have the question answer section. So we will be happy to answer all of them. And now I would like to welcome the project supervisor, the Deputy Chair of FIDE Management Board, Dana Reisnice-Ozala, who will welcome you all today. Can you see the video?
Dear participants
Yes,
of the seminar, Chess for Children with Autism Spectrum Disorder, or chess as we call it, Learn and Teach. So this is an event especially dedicated to our newcomers, to our new partners who are going to engage into this beautiful project. 15 countries already carry out it for a while, having their lessons learned, having their great experiences, having already accumulated their tips and tricks and also judgments on what does work, what what does work less, but all of them do have a common acknowledgement that this project is very successful and very much needed for our target group there. For those 130 kids that are engaged in the training of chess, thus probably not, of course, becoming the top class world chess champions, but people and kids with better social and emotional development rates with the help of chess. So this is one of our major and most beautiful social initiatives of FIDE. We will continue it, we'll expand it, learn together with you, disseminate the information, exchange the experiences, and become better, stronger, smarter. Good luck and have a fruitful seminar.
And now I would love to share with you the welcome speech of our project leader, Anastasia Sorokina.
Dear participants of the Infinite Chess Seminar, I'm very happy and glad to welcome you here. I'm very proud that we have a new members who is interested about our project. We started this project about 4 years ago. It was like local initiative of one of the federations, and now we expand our work to 15 countries. Unfortunately, autism it's a worldwide problem now, and according the numbers, that it's showing that it's growing very fast. So as a chess community, we really hope that chess, our beautiful game, our educational program could help kids with autism to found themselves, to help parents to build a bridge between their kids, themselves, and other people. And we do believe that together we can do many, many good things through chess. So welcome, enjoy the seminar, and I hope to meet you in Olympia 2024. Thank you.
Thank you, Danis. Thank you, Anastasia. And now I'm ready to start with our practice part, and I'm honored to introduce all of you. Alla Mishchenka is our co-author of a methodological guide and the special needs educational expert with more than 18 years of experience of work with the children with autism spectrum disorder. Alla, I will deal with your presentation. Give me a second, please.
Hello, everyone. I'm very thankful for the great opportunity to present today, and we are very happy to welcome our new members to our Infinite Chess family. As Maria said, my name is Paula Mishanka, and I live in Canada, and I work at the largest Toronto's public school board with special needs kids for 19 years. And I work with kids aged from 4 to 21 with autism spectrum disorder and other developmental disabilities. And today, based on my education and experience, I will introduce you briefly. This seminar will be a little bit shorter because the program is already published, and you can find all information, and you can accommodate all strategies to your specific kids.
We are ready.
Let's move on our first topic, teaching students with autism spectrum disorder. As you know, autism is a lifelong developmental disorder that begins in early childhood. Autism is characterized by impairments in 3 areas: communication, socialization, and behavior. To better understand needs in these areas, let's talk more detail about each of them. I will begin with communication challenges. Children with autism experience difficulties with all areas of communication. Nonverbal, receptive, expressive, and logical interaction are affected. Let's talk about some patterns of language use and behaviors that are often found in children with ASD. Comprehension. Children with ASD may have difficulty developing language skills and understanding what others say to them. Poor nonverbal conversation skills. Children with ASD often are unable to use gestures such as pointing to an object to give meaning to their speech. They often avoid eye contact, which can make them seem rude, not interested, or inattentive. Understanding abstract language. Most individuals with autism have difficulty understanding abstract language, sarcasm, and metaphors. For example, be aware of statements like, "I'm going to die of laughing." Maintaining attention, changing focus rapidly. Auditory processing. For example, children with ASD will cover ears in situations that don't seem very noisy for most people, or humming and respond to chatter of other noises. Literal thinking. That's what I deal with every day, with literal thinking. The kids just literally take what you're telling to them. Kids on the spectrum have a very difficult time understanding when it's polite to say something. For example, when the child sees an obese person, he thinks nothing of information that she is fat. He also doesn't understand why his statement would cause such a negative reaction. To him, he was simply telling the truth. Limited vocabulary. Echolalia. Echolalia is repetition of words just spoken by another person. For example, the child may respond to a question by asking the same question. Unusual tone on rhythm of speech. Some children with ASD speak in a high pitch or sing song voice or use robot-like speech. Relating comments in appropriate situation. Turn taking in a conversation. Now let's talk about behavioral challenges. That's our next slide. Many children with autism struggle with behavioral problems. These challenges can be difficult for the child, their parents or caregivers, and their families. Behavioral problems often come in the form of aggression, hyperactivity, hurting themselves or others. For example, headbanging, hitting, or biting. Inappropriate social behavior, for example, undressing in public, or some combination of these and other challenging behaviors. Children with autism may engage in a challenging behavior when they feel unable to express themselves or meet expectations imposed upon them due to undeveloped skills. The main behavioral challenges are high need for routine and predictability, difficulties with changes and transitions. A transition occurs when a student is required to change location, activity, environment, or position. Difficulties with processing sensory information. Lack of functional use of objects, for example, lining up toys, spinning wheels. Unusual body movements on repetitive behavior, for example, rocking, flicking fingers. Limited coping strategies, inflexible thinking, specific interests. For example, I had a student who was watching different video with the subway train, or they addicted in some reason for dinosaurs. Anxiety challenges. Autistic children and teenagers can experience an anxiety more intensely and more often than other children. They may worry or feel stressed about things that are less worrying for typical developing children. These include things like dealing with unexpected events, difficulties with changes and transitions, adapting to a new situation, understanding the responses of others, inability to express ourselves. And finally, social interaction challenges. For people with autism, it can be harder to learn and build up social skills. Students with ASD often experience challenges with knowing how to initiate an interaction, having difficulties how to begin and maintain a conversation, recognizing the presence of others, understanding people's feeling and perspective, for example, showing empathy, developing friendships, understanding social rules, for example, how to dress. Now that we have learned about challenges with children with autism experience, let's talk about how to create a safe and predictable environment. And first we will talk about how do I teach students with autism. First, be positive, get to know the child, build positive relationship with the student, be aware of individual differences, for example, activity levels, sensory needs, communication, and cognitive ability. Talk to parent, guardian, previous teachers, consultants. Provide a predictable and safe environment. Minimize transitions. Provide accurate prior information about the changes. Offer a consistent routine. Provide reinforcement that is individualized, immediate, concrete. Be concrete and specific. Avoid using terms like later, maybe, why did you do that? Avoid idioms, double meaning, and sarcasm. Teach skills in a clear and detailed manner, leaving no room for confusion or doubt. Use modeling and demonstrate with verbalization. Simplified instructions. If necessary for understanding, break a task down into smaller steps that student can accomplish successfully. Keep language simple, concrete, and clear. Pause, listen, and wait. Watch and listen to attempt to respond. Respond positively to attempts. Use visuals like gestures, signs, pictures, timers, social stories. Allow time to respond. Check for understanding. Find the strengths and needs of students. Make a list of likes and dislikes. Do not take responses personally. Provide a break to allow for self-regulations. For the strategies teachers can implement during the lessons, please refer to our methodological guide, where you can find detailed information about different strategies teaching you can implement in your classroom. And I think it's our last topic. It's how to set up an autism classroom. Since students with ASD have exceptional needs that other students usually don't, educators must adopt unique educational methods and strategies in order to meet them. The accommodations and support students with ASD receive in a classroom will depend on what the individual students require to be successful. A properly organized classroom can improve skills achievement and independence and lower stress and anxiety in students with ASD. Here are some tips to help teachers to create the best environment which students with autism can learn to play chess. Physical layout. Before you start organizing your classroom, pay special attention to the physical layout. Think about the flow of students, staff, and parents as they transit around the classroom. Furniture arrangement should create physical walkways that will help make transition smooth and easy. Your classroom will support a maximum group of 4 kids. Get rid of the clutter. Remove unused furniture, materials, or items that don't serve a specific teaching purpose. Many students with ASD pay attention to details and may miss the big picture. You don't want them to focus on unrelated items instead of you. Use visuals to define space. Many students with autism don't understand personal space, so they will benefit from having their workspace usually defined. For example, during the lesson, the teacher may not want students to walk all around the classroom at any time, so the teacher can use different ways to visually define an area and teach where that area is. A student who has trouble staying on his or her assigned areas in the classroom may benefit from colored tape on the floor around their spots to establish boundaries, and so the student know where he or she is expected to be. Thus, I have now in my classroom 2 students. I use this strategy and it works very well. Do not let any student out why we can use it for everyone else. Use visuals to increase independence. Visual strategies are extremely important tools to help students with ASD to be successful. They help students learn effective communication, positive behavior, and appropriate social interaction. Generally, students with autism are visual learners. They are better at understanding what they see rather than what they hear. That is why they benefit when we use visual strategies to support communication. Visual support helps students who have difficulty understanding or using language to communicate by creating an environment that is more predictable and understandable. Visual support can be pictures, photographs, drawing, objects, written words, schedule, timers, first then, words, or body movements. Label each workstation, shelf, and cabinet with a picture and the corresponding word. If you have a runner in your classroom, you may put a stop sign on the door. A picture is worth 1,000 words, so use them. Have a schedule written in visual. What a visual schedule? A visual schedule communicates the sequence of upcoming events or events using objects, photographs, icons, words, or a combination of visual support. A visual schedule tells the students where they should be and when they should be there, and what they will be doing through the day. Refer to the schedule as your students move through the different activities. You can find the examples of the schedules in our program. Visual schedules are created to match the individual needs of the students, and many vary in length and form. You may want to have the different section of the schedule removable so students know which part have already been completed and what they still have left to do. You can do this by using Velcro tape and laminating the different pictures of the schedule. And you see some examples. Now we are moving to the sensory. Keep in mind sensory stimulation. Sensory challenges are very common with autistic students. Try to minimize sensory stimuli as much as possible. Pay attention to the lighting, windows, floor covering, and ceilings. Even small changes like lowering shades and turning down overhead lights can be helpful. Face desk away from the windows or doors. Fluorescent lighting. Certain types of lighting, especially fluorescent lighting, have been shown to have a particular negative effect on individuals with autism. Approximately half of the autistic individuals experience what is classified as a severe sensitivity to fluorescent lighting. You may reduce light sensitivity by minimizing exposure to the fluorescent lighting and replacing it with indirect, natural, or incandescent lighting, maintaining rooms with dim lights. Reduce noise. Teacher can use tennis balls on the bottom of the chairs to cut down on noise when students are moving their chairs around. In a quieter classroom, students can concentrate better and progress quicker. Have a calm down area. Overstimulation, misunderstanding, or communication breakdowns can easily lead to the frustration and even a meltdown. Once a student's feelings are escalating, they can no longer learn. Prepare ahead of time for this by creating and setting a calming area. This could be a small area in the corner of the classroom with the beanbag chair, a container with fidget, sensory toys, and activities your student enjoy, and some headphones. The calming areas should never be used as a form of punishment. Avoiding a visual, adding a visual in a calm down area to help students to know when they are calm, and a visual in a calm down area to assess how the student is feeling. Visual that helps students to understand their emotions, and visuals with the calm down techniques become vital in a calm down area. These visuals will support students as they are developing an understanding of their emotions. And it will also allow them to model the emotional state necessary to return to class. That you can see some examples of the visual you can put in your countdown area. Use a timer. Timer are a visual support which helps students with autism see how time process. Plan on who will set the timer, you or your student. When the timer goes off, what will be the phase to decide if the student is ready to go back to work. It could be a simple phrase like, "Are you ready to go back to work?" All these strategies will help you be best prepared for different situations and use your calm down corner effectively. If your students have a difficult staying at their desk, you can use weighted products like a gel weighted lap pad or snake wrap. Lap pads can be easy way to help students sit through the lesson or any other activities that are required sitting for a period of time. These this kind of products provide calming sensory input and comfort, improve attention and concentration, increase body awareness, and have calming benefits. But before using these products, parents should refer to doctors, occupational therapists, and other professionals for advice on how to better accommodate their child depending on their specific needs. Students will highly benefit from visiting the school and classroom prior to the start of the program. Show them their classroom, restroom, and introduce them to the teacher and staff who will be in contact with the student. Parents may create a social story to help make the transition easier and more predictable for the child. You can find the examples of different social stories in our program. Parents may provide the school with copies of the key information about their child's needs and share the concerns, expectations with the staff. Teaching an autistic child is a difficult process. Each child with autism has different unique needs, and we must accommodate them to help child to succeed. We can't measure this success. For some kids with autism and their parents and trainers, success would be the ability to play a game. For others, the ability to recognize chess pieces. The teacher must set the goals depending on the student's age and functioning level. Thank you very much. And now Natalia Popova will talk about her experience. She is our pioneer teaching kids with autism chess. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you, Alla. Thank you very much. Yes, and I'm happy to introduce Natalia Popova, our co-author, FIDE trainer and Women International Master. Please, Natalia, are you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready. Okay, hang on a sec, please. Just a few seconds. Is it okay? Can you see my presentation? Yes, okay. Good time of day for everyone. I am Natalia Popova. I am chess trainer, FIDE trainer, international master, international arbiter, and I co-author of the methodological guide for teachers to conduct chess classes for children with autism spectrum disorder. And today I'll show you how I organize a chess space for children with ASD. And also we will talk about the chess program and basic principles which on it is based. Okay, next slide. Can you see or not? I don't know what happened.
This is just the end of your presentation. Go back to the slide.
Okay. I need to coordinate my skills.
No problem.
Okay. speaking and showing. Okay. As I mentioned before, it is very important to pay attention to the equipment of the classroom. And you can see the demo board. And this demonstration board and pieces were made at my special request in a special color scheme. You can see the squares on the board are white and dark gray, and the pieces on this demo board are white and black with contrasting edging. So we can so it's not to merge with squares. Why do I use this color palette? And I want to keep the colors as close to the concept white and black as possible. That's why I use this color palette. Okay, next. Each child can sit on at their own chairs, at their own tables, and have their own board and pieces. A timer for each child on the table so that they can see how much time is left until the end of the lesson. And it was clear for the first few minutes of the class that it was distracting for children, and they were only looking at this timer. And so we decided to remove all these timers. Currently, there is only one on the teacher's desk. You can see football chairs for every child. And looking ahead, I will say about these football chairs because one boy immediately pierced one of them with a pencil. Therefore, I had to replace it with an ordinary one. And in the course of the next classes, it was decided to replace all these football chairs with ordinary ones. Because it was inconvenient for children to sit on them. Someone jumped on them, so it was difficult to conduct classes. Football chairs became a reward and were used at breaks as a relaxation for children. Yeah. As you can see, there is now an additional empty table between the child's workspace. Yes, the child can comfortably place on this empty table their visual cards, worksheets, folders with worksheets, and the figures are less likely to fall to the floor. And yes, and you can see the resting place during the break. Soft pillow chairs, football chairs, ordinary chair, different type of chair that we can use, that we used. And what conclusion can be drawn? Our class room equipment can be modified over time to meet the needs of the children. Okay, I would like to say a few words how I conducted the classes. It was necessary to understand how I could convey information for children with a poor speech perception. And I decided to change my speech. Pause between words, use short sentences, and use a visual card, set of visual cards. Okay, I used some gestures, signs, etc. A set of visual cards has been created for each topic of the program. All visual cards have been laminated. You can see an example of one of them. And during the lesson, this card helped me to explain the topic to the students and also help the students to navigate the topic more easily. How did our classes go? The duration of the lesson was 50 minutes. The first part of the lesson lasted 25 minutes. After that, it was a break of 5 minutes, and the second part of our lesson lasted 20 minutes. First, no, for example, first the teacher's greeting and a brief summary of our lesson. For example, today we will study King's move, castling. Okay, first we will work on a demo board. So I explain on this board what castling is, how it is done, what it is for. I use short sentence, pauses between words, visual cards. Then I ask each child to come to the board and make a castling. If a child needs my help, I help. We repeat the exercise until the child completes it independently. I do the same work with the child on an individual board. Individual work with the child is more important than lecturing the whole class. Each position that is printed on paper, the child first puts it on the chessboard, performs the exercise on the board, and then transfers the solution to the paper. The child performs various exercises on the given topic. For example, is there castling or not, white or black, short or long. At break time, the child can jump on the feedball, draw, or play other board games. We have many different board games that develop children's attention, thinking speed, motor skills, concentration. At the end of the lesson, each child receives a homework. I also explained to the parents how the lesson went, what was done, what to pay attention to when doing homework. Of course, homework is an important part of learning. As I mentioned before, every child has a set of visual laminated cards for each topic. These cards also help children to repeat current topic and or previous topics at home. Using the exercises printed and done in class, children can also repeat current and previously topics with their parents' home. Okay, now let's talk about principles on which the program was created. The program was developed on the experience of working with group of children with autism spectrum disorder. The teaching and methodological material is divided into themes rather than individual lessons. Simple exercise for learning each concept, smoothly increasing the complexity of the exercises. Active chess games, cognitive activities. The teaching and methodological material is divided into 16 topics. Why? There is no time limit for studying each topic because each child has a different pace of learning. That's why I had to reform the groups later on according to the pace of children's learning. All topics in the program are interconnected. Each new topic helps to consolidate the knowledge of the previous topic. Thus, there is a constant repetition of previously studied material, which makes it easier for children to learn it. I call this strategy like a strategy of 1,000 repetitions for me. Mini games are introduced at the early stage of learning. For example, a game, attack, and run away. You can see position on this slide, the white bishop on d3 and the black rook on d4. Student attacks the rook with the bishop, for example, bishop e5, and then rook goes to, for example, d2, bishop c3, rook f2, bishop d4, and for example, your teacher and play and goes to bishop f6 and bishop rook f6, and then bishop can take this rook. Okay, using this game, play up to 3 or 4 attacks and runaways. Eventually, your pieces can be captured. And okay, my congratulations, you won this game. Using this mini game, we teach the child to play a chess game. You make a move, I make a move. We take turns making moves. Okay, the same position, but I play with. Okay, my pieces is, for example, white, and students play with black pieces, and students attacks my bishop. Okay, with his rook. Okay, we can change the color. We can change the color. Next. Smooth complication of exercises. For example, the topic is rook, and we want to teach the children how the rook captures other pieces of opposite color. For example, exercise 4. You can see in exercise 4, it is suggested to capture only one piece with the rook. Of course, you have to teach students to do this taking with only one hand. I pay attention to this capturing using only one hand. Why? As a chess coach, I assume that children can participate in competition, some kind of competition. Okay, and according to the laws of chess, we need to take a piece with using only one hand. This is a rule, as there are no any kind of exceptions. That's why I form this skill in children from very beginning. At first, it's very difficult to take a piece with one hand, and then it happens automatically. The child doesn't even focus on it, on this capturing. Okay, you see exercise 5, and we see a gradual increase in the complexity of exercise 4. We need to take 2 pawns, after that 3 pawns, etc. And my lovely exercises, my lovely activities, cognitive activities, and most students love them too. For example, find a pair, find what doesn't fit, houses, my lovely hidden pieces, and names. Now you can see mixed pictures, an exercise mixed pictures. The goal is improve to the student attention, visual perception, and what do we need? A printed form, colored pencil. What to do? Ask student to find objects in mixed pictures, paint them, which one is a chess piece, name them, what is its value, write it down, etc. Of course, after each correctly completed exercise, I encourage the child with positive words. A drawn smile, as you can see in previous. Here, you can see drawn smiles. Okay, special stickers that students can put on their worksheets, folder with worksheets, or whatever they want. Okay, as I mentioned before, a set of visual cards has been developed to explore each topic. And you can see an example of such card. The topic is rook, for example. Why am I using this color palette? Green and red. I thought about this, and this is a reference to their knowledge of traffic lights. A green light means you can go. A red light means there is no road. That's why I use this color palette. And I reiterate that homework is an important part of our learning. And these visual cards help children do not forget what we've been learning in the classroom. And of course, use one hand to capture pieces. To summarize all the above, I would like to make one important point. Our program is a reference point for working with children with an autism spectrum disorder. But like any other living organism, it can change depending on the needs of children. You can add your own exercises, techniques, games that are suitable for particular children at particular times. Thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you, Natalia. Thank you very much. Today, we also invited not only our authors of the methodological guide, but as well our partners of the project who joined long time ago and already have some feedback to share their point of view on the methodological guide, on the program, on the project in general, and not only the feedback, but of course their priceless experience, personal experience as a specialist. And we will start with our partner from Latvia, Vistras Kaps. Are you ready?
Yes, hello, I'm ready. So I can share my screen and we can get started.
Yeah.
Moment. So is it okay? Can you see my presentation?
Yes, it's perfect.
Okay, so first of all, I'm happy that this initiative is expanding, and I'm happy to see that we have many new future participants. So I will try to share my own experience and try to, let's say, introduce you to our working routine, our lesson structure, and so on. How I conduct those lessons. So I am working as the trainer in this Latvian second primary school for children with special needs. It is already a second school year, so we started last October. It seems like a long time ago. And the work still continues this school year as well. So prior this project, our 4 students had basically no prior knowledge, except student A, Dennis. He was familiar with the piece moves, and he also had a brief knowledge of general chess rules and themes, checkmate, promotion, also a bit about fork and pin. However, others were not familiar with the chess game at all. But after one school year, we made some considerable progress, as we can see. Student A developed comprehensive knowledge of chess techniques, including basic checkmate techniques and motifs. We managed to work on opening principles, and he also showed ability to work independently on different tasks. And as we will see, he also participated in his first tournament. With other students, the progress was not so considerable, but still relatively good, in my opinion. They learned how pieces moves, but the problem is that after each lesson they forget, and we need to repeat and revise again. And as we will see, they are not interested in doing homework, unfortunately. So sometimes it feels that we start it all over again, but actually it's not the true, because we make small incremental progress. And also I try to measure. I try to make their progress measurable, and we use a lot of digital tools. My work line of work is a scholastic trainer, and I'm used to introducing technology in my lessons, because I need to work with the large groups essentially. But some of those methods were successful in this closed environment as well, only with 4 students. And as we can see, this year we are still making progress. So student A gradually progresses in almost all mentioned disciplines, except tournaments, because he didn't make it to the tournament this year yet, but hopefully I will be able to convince him, because sometimes he's very dedicated during the classes, but when it comes to tournaments and the homeworks, it is other situation with him. And student B developed, for example, ability to fulfill written assignments independently. Prior to that, he was able only to do it with assistance. And the precision of those exercises is increasing. I don't have exact numbers because we pay more attention to that during the last months of the school year, but I see that it's also improving, and I'm very happy about it, of course. So when we started, of course, I familiarized myself with this great curriculum that is presented by authors, and try to implement that in my lessons. But still, we needed to start somewhere, and the beginning looked a bit like my regular lessons. So the structure was 10 minutes of introducing new topic on the demonstration board, 20 minutes for practical mini games or other tasks on the chessboard with my assistants or with pedagogical assistants, 15 minutes for workbook assignments, and around 5 minutes for cool down activities on digital devices. However, I found out that with this particular group, those first 10 minutes was not so productive because they very frequently zoned out. They were struggling to pay attention. And as we will see, they struggle to grasp a concept, to grasp topics conceptually. That is my takeaway from this year. So I had to make some changes. One moment. Moving on. Yes, we will get to the changes I made, but they were my observations about general obstacles that we were facing. The school that provides us with the classroom and our environment is very supportive. However, we are not able to devote a whole classroom for those lessons, and to make this environment maybe as optimal as it would have to be according to requirements or suggestions. So there are still, unfortunately, distractions, and from time to time, resident students are also present, and it causes a bit of distraction, and our students loses focus more frequently. Also, unfortunately, parents were not eager to engage. They were not so interested in student progress, but I have great empathy for them, of course, because every morning I see how many sacrifices they make to bring their children to school, and maybe on chess lessons they bring them more earlier. So it's understandable that maybe they are not able to devote even more energy for that, but it is what it is. And we had some issues with attendance, but this year it's better, but it was due to logistics. School has a bus that takes students to do the lessons, and sometimes early buses are late, and they might be absent for that reason and for health issues, of course. And the different chess skills and capacity level is, of course, also a challenge for trainer to work with children if the skill gap is very substantial, of course. And then there is some specific mental characteristics for each individual that I observed that is also maybe slowing down their progress. And briefly, we can see my observations about that. So, for example, Dennis was most student A is Dennis. He was the most promising student, but he struggled with attendance. He was not eager to do homework, and he was fixated on one piece or one element. So maybe it was like a bit of inflexible thinking. He knows all the pieces, but when we conduct let's say mini game, he only focuses on single element, So the overall results are not so good in that department. All other students shared one characteristic: short attention span. For example, student C had frequent anxiety attacks and I had to take it on consideration when assigning different tasks for him. And distraction by classroom environment. I noticed it in three of them. Dennis was the only one who were able to work through a given task without ever phasing out. So it was almost like a superpower for him. And please keep in mind that most students in my group has a quite severe case of ASD, so adjustments were made according to their abilities and characteristics. In other situations and circumstances, other tools and lesson plan might be more applicable. So this is just my experience, of course, what works and what doesn't work. So to carry on with the student A, we started to work more individually because I understood that he is able to start participating in tournaments. So we had 10 minutes for introduction to new topic on the students board. He was able to solve tactical puzzles independently on digital format or on workbooks. And he also was able to play on chess, for example, on the tablet or computer, well, mostly tablets. For student B, C, and D, as I said, they were very forgetful, and we had to do repetition drills. Mini games were very helpful, and also workbooks. I will share some of our favorite mini games, and also will mention what workbooks do we use. Sorry, we will go back. Yes, and new topics were introduced during different activities according to each student's capabilities. So it goes hand in hand with my observation that it's pretty difficult for them to grasp it conceptually, and it feels like they grasp ideas and skills intuitively and doing it by trial and error. So here is a demonstration from our lesson routine. Let's see. One moment. So we have a full attendance. We have all four students. The fourth one is on the right side. We will see him as well. So Roberts and Alex is playing a mini game, a pawn race. And Dennis in the background is solving workbook. And as we can see in this instance, we had also a resident student, not connected with project, but she is a residential student in this classroom. She is just, well, doing her own thing, doing assignment that the other teacher gave her. Well, it's very big struggle is to make sure that they follow the turn by turn, move by move basis of our game. So Robert always wants to hurry up, and usually he tries to do 2 moves in a row, and he's very impatient. And Alex does the same, but somehow they are not even good match by skill, but somehow they established a friendship, and they like to play together. So this is something new for me as well. Last year, they were not interested to engage, but somehow time goes by, and they develop this curious type of friendship. Curious because they are also arguing a lot, but still they are, when chess lesson comes, they are happy to play in their sense. Yeah, so this school year, smartboard was introduced in a classroom, and well, as I work with smartboards on daily basis in regular schools, of course, I took this opportunity and introduced this lesson tool as well. And there are plenty of good tools like a chess kit, Leeches, and so on, and some interactive tools as well, Kahoot, quizzes, Bamboozle. Not strictly exclusive to chess, but well, it works very good, at least by my observation. I don't know if you heard the sound in the background, but while I was filming video with Ionis, Alex and Robert started shouting because one of them broke the rules. So, and then my attention was required there as well in this moment. So next one. Give me a moment. One moment. So, as you heard in the beginning of this conference, it's classroom environment is very important, and I found out that they really don't like to change their desk. If they sit next to their desk, it's hard to make them change it. So, but I still wanted them to start to play chess. So I came up with this conclusion, this solution. They're playing chess on tablet, 1 against 1, but they are keeping their distance. Both of them are happy, and with monitoring, it can work for them. They even managed, for example, here they managed to play a full chess game almost without input from our side, and they played till naked kings. Basically, one of them had the rook, other had a passed pawn. The player gave up the rook, and it was a draw. So I think it's a considerable success, and it looks like this. Well, generally they are having a good time, but of course sometimes it can be very upsetting, cause anxiety. But on a good day, this is how they play against each other. So moving on. I'm sorry about that. So useful mini games. I am big fan of steps method. I'm also a certified coach, and so I use extensively those tools in my regular lessons as well. And it's very simple, straightforward, and easy to set up. So it's perfect, basically universally for lessons. Also with this group, for example, knight need to reach opposite corner, and they only need to know knight moves, and they need to pay attention. What is the aim? Where is this corner? We can put this cardboard circle here and here, and then it's very clear. Or collecting as many tokens as they can, as many paper tokens as they can. So basically, you need only chessboard, regular equipment, and some thick paper or cardboard circles, and plastic tokens from other board games will do as well. So, and here, for example, Ionis and Dennis is playing a pawn race, and we are organizing a double round robin tournament, and I think it works out well for them here. They managed to play this game through without any guidance at all. And it was interesting because Ionis was the weakest part of this group, at least from beginning, but he had this obstacle that he was doing everything very slowly but surely he's also improving, and his advantage is that he's very calm, and okay, he gets distracted, but he's not upset by defeats. And he follows through with all assignments, so he's also making some progress, so that's a good thing. So here we have work on diagrams, a very basic exercise to give a check, but still it's essential to have a chessboard next to them, and if they struggle, then we can mimic this same exercise on the chessboard, also with those paper circles, and it really helps out. And because they learn visually, but also touching things is a big thing in our lesson. So they like all the tokens, all the pieces, and so on. So it helps. Here, Dennis and Roberts is playing quiz about chessboard geometry. They need to notice is chessboard set up appropriately, and if we can see it isn't, because the king and queen is mixed up. And if for example Roberts notices this a slight but of course slight inaccuracy, but actually very vital inaccuracy in chess, so he will score 10 extra points. So this is also one of activities that we conduct. And here we have this Leach's move drill. They do it quite frequently, and also especially if they conduct in some other activity, and I see that, for example, they struggle with knight moves. So if during this activity we can pause it and assign them this task to work with the pieces, and somehow on the screen it all works out. We will see it. They are very swift, very quickly. They are doing it. Without any problems. On paper, it's on paper or on chessboard, it's more challenging, of course, for them. Yes, so we introduced steps workbooks quite recently. Dennis is already working with the steps workbook for his own level from beginning of this school year, but the rest of them started to work with the stepping stones just recently. And this workbook is very good for them because we can see large diagrams. It's hard to miss pieces. It's 5 to 6 diagrams instead of 12 or 9. That is more frequent, and also artwork is very good, and the topics are simple, so it's good for revision. So this was interesting observation about capturing pieces, how they try to problem solve during this activity. If we know chess rules, we will quickly see that knight is hanging, and we will just drag and drop bishop here. Well, if we are not so familiar with rules, we will think a bit longer, but how they do it, it's quite remarkable. Let's see. So they are just trying to solve it by brute force. Even though we had a chess lesson that explained how pieces works previously, still they try to just drag and drop every piece towards target, even white pieces. Then, after a while, if they encounter similar exercise, they understood that only opposite colored pieces can engage in combat. So they try to drag and drop opposite colored pieces, and then they understand that close combat is more likely than distant combat, and they try to work in this region. Let's say 9 squares. In this region where there is a knight, and eventually, after many attempts, they do it more or less. We can say normally or regularly. They notice that bishop can take knight, but this learning curve was something like this, and I was very surprised. And the key is that he, for example, Ionis, he did it very quickly, not just fast, but he did it. I don't know, in 2 seconds or 3 seconds, he tried all those actions. That the arrow is action, and he did it very swiftly, and then solved it with the brute force, so to speak. So let's go further, and we can see that they are able to do regular type of checkmate in one activities. In a good day, they can also do it even basically without any guidance. So they have to mate with rook. And this is Ionis who was struggling, but now he's doing better. Of course, there is guidelines. If you make a mistake in this application, there's guidelines, but we see he can get quite few of them right. Well, not all of them right, but around 50% he gets right with the first attempt. So it is quite good, and it will also only improve. So here we have Dennis in his first chess tournament. That was a highlight of our last school year, at least for him. He was competing in a scholastic chess tournament and showed a great fighting spirit. Even though he started poorly, he still managed to score 2.5 points and placed 31st out of 37. So we are happy for him. But on that note, even though all of them are not tournament ready, I would say they are ready for chess, as we can see, and this project proves again and again. So we conclude. I will share some recommended applications that I use. I use Magnus Kingdom. It's very appealing to them, very dynamic, and they can engage with all pieces. Quick tip would be to at least at sometimes change those cartoonish pieces to regular pieces. There is this option. You can just change their appearance to regular pieces. So that would help them to connect the dots and understand that, well, which piece resembles counterpart on the regular chessboard. On Chess King, we do puzzles. Lichess is universally applicable. Chess Lite, it's an interesting application where you try to eliminate the whole chessboard with piece moves. So it helps them to realize how pieces moves. Basically, if you put a rook on the on square, it will illuminate all squares that he sees, and it is also quite useful. well, then there is Chess Universe, similar in a sense to Magnus Kingdom, with this appearance that is really engaging for them. And when they are not willing to play against each other, they can play Magnus. They can try to beat Magnus in 5 years of age, or Magnus in 6 years of age, and so on. So in conclusion, we have, of course, some takeaways. It's very important to set realistic and achievable goals for each student. So we have to approach them as an individual with their own goals and aspirations and capabilities. Students with severe case of ASD struggle to grasp topics conceptually, at least in my experience, and they learn them instinctively by trial and error. So that is something that I realized maybe this year or at the end of the last school year, that maybe they even don't know, but they already have those chess skills, but it's hard to name them conceptually, that they somehow they just know it by doing it again and again in their unconscious mind. So focus on process and consistency. Group micromanagement is very important, as I told you. For example, they are unwilling to change their seat, so we need to figure out workarounds, and maybe that they don't want to interact with some particular participant, but they are well matched with other student, and also how we structure our lesson. Let's say if we have a mentally demanding job, I would suggest to leave it as a last assignment, because if it's too much for them, they can be very, very sad, annoyed, and they won't be productive for whole lesson. So let's say if they have this round robin tournament on the regular chessboard in a group, I would leave it for the end of the lesson, and they will do workbooks or do drills at the beginning of the lesson. And well, we as trainers and as teachers, we want to help to reach their students' potential. And of course, there are no small achievements. We take it one step at a time, and it truly works. Well, and to achieve greater goals, of course, the all components are coach, assistant, teacher, environment, and so on, and it all needs to be aligned. So if one element is missing, it will be a bit more difficult to aim higher. Well, and as you can see, digital tools are a big part of our lessons, and I find it quite useful if used properly. So thank you for your time. And that was my experience
Thank you
as a trainer.
Thank you very much, Vestos. This is a great presentation, as always. And thank you very much for your devoted and comprehensive approach to the project and to the work with kids with ASD, because as you said, this is a journey of small steps. And of course, the most important and basic thing of work with the program is noticing the potential and the struggles of our students. So thank you very much for sharing your experience.
No problem. Thank you.
And now I'm honored to introduce you our partner from South Africa, Kanti Sarju, the speech language pathologist at Brown School. Kathy?
Hi.
Hello.
I'm ready. Hi, everyone. Can I just share my presentation?
Sure.
Are you able to see that?
Not yet. We can see you.
Okay, let's see what's happening. Should I go to share screen? Are you able to see that?
Yes.
Oh,
yes.
Perfect. Okay, as mentioned, I am a speech language pathologist, and became part of this project around almost 2 years ago. And we're very, very excited and honored to be part of this project. So I just wanted to just share with you my experiences, and hoping in some way it will help you when you take on this project. I must say it develops you, prepares you, and also even you develop as in your field as well. And it also brought on certain aspects of children on the spectrum that I wasn't aware of, and very, very honored and privileged to see this, so that it gave me a better understanding of children on the spectrum. So our project goals at the Brown School were basically to improve the social interaction and develop social reciprocity, as was mentioned before, with your turn-taking skills. With in using chess as a tool, you'll find that children become more interactive, because it might be that, again, they might be taking too long to make a move, and it becomes irritating, and it might encourage the other participant, who was usually very, very shy and reserved, to say, make your move, please, so I can carry on, you know. So it's a wonderful thing. It also encourages logical reasoning and inferencing skills. I'll speak a bit more about that later. It fosters good sportsmanship, and this was really wonderful to see when a child did get checkmate, or did get check, or was the first to complete a puzzle, how the others encouraged them. That was quite nice to see. It also developed and encouraged teamwork and friendship. Also, obviously, to develop their chess skills. Just remember that our school did not have chess as on their timetable or as a subject, so we went in with no knowledge of chess to start off with. I'm talking about the children, not me. Okay, and then also they were able to problem solve, to repair conversation breakdowns, and to resolve conflicts. That's a big thing, and I'm hoping I'd have time to just share some of my experiences on how I did that. This part was quite difficult for us, to encourage parent-child interaction through social chess, because we are our chess was part of the school curriculum. We didn't really have much contact with parents, except via the homework projects that we sent. So we commenced our classes on the 11th of February last year. Our Thursday group, we had 3 groups. Thursday group included 8 children in the age range of 9 to 11, and 2 groups were held on a Friday. The first group consisted of 16 children aged between 8 and 10, and group 2 of 8 children, 11 and 13. Each session was 1 hour in duration. We spent about 20 to 30 minutes on demonstration and exploration of a topic, 20 minutes on consolidation with chess exercises, and 10 minutes with revision. So overall, we have 32 children participating in this project. Things to consider before starting this. So the first thing is to note the number of children in your group. So for our group, it ranged from 18 to 16 children. The other thing was the dynamics of the group is highly important. The level of competency in the game of chess, the skills and knowledge, the language abilities, and as mentioned previously, how important it is that our words are chosen according to the child's learning abilities and comprehension. Their level of social awareness, especially to know exactly what the contact should be like, how much of space to leave between children. Sensory profiles was very important as well to note. Some of them are auditory sensitive, visual sensitive, and even sometimes tactile sensitive. So you have to speak to we're privileged enough to have occupational therapists in our school, so to speak and to get a better idea of each child. A classroom setup is important, as mentioned previously, to be structured, to make sure that it's not overwhelming visually. There's a clear setup with visual cues on exactly what the chess lesson will be like. spoke about that, and that we have communication with the parents, that parents know that the children are taking part in this project and what the goals are. So as I'll talk about it more, parents, when you say that your child is enrolled in a chess program, think that we are going to make them tournament players, or that we are going to make them play chess in the next month or in the next week. And that's not how it is. It's very, very much systematic. We deal with it's hierarchical. So we're going to first get them used to the chessboard, then the chess pieces, then how it moves before they can actually play a game or set up the chessboard. So that's very important that you communicate your goals to the parents so they don't have sometimes unrealistic expectations. Medical management is a big thing in our school because sometimes parents maybe play around with medication, or children forget to take the medication, or maybe the doctor is kind of looking at different types of medication or dosages. So sometimes when a child is not very compliant in your lesson, it's important to see if the medication or the medical management, what is the medical management of the child, so it gives you a better understanding of what's happening in your classroom. Teachers' support is vital so that teachers can prepare the children to come to the lesson, that on their timetable in the classroom there is a symbol saying that they are going to chess, so that the transition from the classroom to the chess room is easy. So also, we notice that research indicates that children with ASD benefits best from a classroom that's organized and less distracted. So there was minimal furniture in our classroom. And you did have a bit of clearly marked areas. We do have a dedicated chess room that was used for both children in the mainstream sector of the school and for children with autism. So sometimes you had to compromise a bit with clearly marked areas because we might have just taken over from a chess lesson that was done in the mainstream. So it's quite a haphazard. So you got to just sort your room out before you get your children in. And as I said before, that they are verbally prepared regarding the lesson, and that it's included in their visual schedules. So when we're starting, when you are presenting your lesson, it's important to be clear and concise, and to also observe if a child is distracted and you know that there is no other reason except that maybe they don't understand what you're saying. So it's important for you to use the correct language for that child's understanding. Sometimes it might be, as Natalia said, pausing. Sometimes your words you're using too many words, or sometimes you're using the wrong word. So you have to speak in short sentences. As I said before, to pause to make sure the child understands the concept. I noticed that when you are doing ranks and you're saying horizontal, it goes horizontal. Some children liked the fact that it was left to right. Some children liked side to side. So it's important that you use the correct words. Also to remember to test and retest a concept that you introduced. To present the information on various platforms like demonstration, role play, social stories, the demo board, and the floorboard. And what you do is, if you're finding that a concept became very difficult, you thought that the children from one week to the other, when you're doing revision, that they kind of knew it. And so now you can move on to maybe an exercise. And then you realize, no, there were some that actually didn't do it. Didn't actually understand it. So then you move from the demonstration to the role play, to the floorboard, to the demo board, until you find that children do understand. When they understand, they get the confidence and you can move ahead easier. Always reinforce with worksheets that go home and the parents understand what they're doing. Yeah, as I said before, revise the concept. We have been going very, very slow because you will hear the teachers kind of telling you where the academic levels are. And for our school, it was from kindergarten to kind of grade 2. So we had to make sure that we really go slow so that the understanding is there. So some of the therapeutic techniques that we've implemented. So we ensured that the environment is conducive to learning. We made sure that all the sensory issues are accommodated by making sure that the lighting is suitable for the child, that each child is comfortable where they're seated. Although I always like to test this, the therapist in me sometimes comes out, and it's important to introduce the change card. So as much as they like to sit where they want and they're comfortable, when they are going to be in a tournament level, or if you are preparing them for anything else, it's important that they come out of their comfort zone. So it's important to actually introduce the change card. Today, I'm going to tell you where to sit, or today you're going to sit with another partner, so that they can become more confident in change, but also comfortable that you've introduced a change. Always important to challenge the child. Also check for the tolerance to noise, especially fans, and sometimes you never ever know when the grass is going to be cut, so you'll get the lawnmower noise. So it's important for you to take heed of these things. I noticed that when I become excited, I do exaggerate my voice, and sometimes the loudness also affects certain children, and some of the children are with cochlear implants as well. So it's important for you to understand this child needs a bit of manual sign support, maybe. This child I need to speak softer to. This child needs to, my expressions cannot be wild for this child. And then you get a child, and I have a child that absolutely loves me being animated. So animated as in when there's a capture, there's like an eating sound, and I've got that. Or if they made a silly move, like taking their own chess piece, black captures black, and I would be like, but you took your teammate down. And they absolutely love that. But that might not work in another class. So it's, as we said before, it's important to know what works with the child and what doesn't. Dress code as well. I found that if I used anything with dots, it upset one child because he thinks that they look like eyes all over the place. So I had to remember that to check me before I go to a lesson that I'm dressed appropriately. Sometimes even patterns disturb children. So we always, as everyone said, that we use cue cards, we use posters. So this is some of the social stories that we've used just to introduce the chessboard and the chess pieces, and kind of just giving visual support on naming them. Also, when you're introducing the chessboard, we walk it. So girls love to walk the ramp and do their own, whoever is the celebrity, I'm not very familiar, on the chessboard to show you the ranks and the files. We also use some counters. You have to motor plan it. So you got to, and that's where sometimes children have difficulties in to know the horizontal motions and the vertical, what vertical looks like and what's horizontal, and to visualize it. And here you can see we are using some counters. I just had random pictures just to show you how we actually try and develop a concept. So you can see he is showing me the files and ranks on the board. I am also here showing them a certain place on the board so that they can do it on their chessboard. Here we are using the floorboard to firstly to make sure that we placed it right, and then exactly where we are on the chessboard. We also have exercises that we do in the book. Here we've given a task to each child, so it's about following directions. So I might say find a corner piece, you find the centerpiece, you find file, and you might find rank 3. So each one has a different thing to do, and it's about listening, auditory memory as well. It's about the same here. So you've got where they're going to demonstrate on the chessboard. And then if you find that the children's literacy skills are more advanced than the ones that just need verbal support, then you can have instructions written out, and then they have to follow it on the floorboard, on the chessboard, or on your demo board. Here we are exploring some concepts here for chess values. We're using some counters so that they can show me exactly if they know their chess values. Then we use stickers to do it in the exercise books. And then we also explore some maths concepts where I give them a number. They can use the chess pieces to come to the targeted number. Here you can see I'm introducing the bishop. It's always important to test if they do know how the bishop moves, because you've showed it on the floorboard, you showed it on your demo board, and now they have to show it to you on their chessboard. Sorry. And these also, this is just another part that I'm testing about the bishop. An interesting thing happened this year is when we were introducing the knight. I find that one to be quite a difficult one because of how it moves. And so they did not, certain groups do not like that you move one step forward or backwards or side to side and one diagonal. So I had to say we do it step, one step, two step, and to the side. And a child put her hand up and said, "So you mean we do 1, 2, cha-cha-cha?" And once we did that, we found that the entire class actually appreciated that explanation than my very technical explanation. So that was quite interesting to note. Here, what we did was we used some counters. So I said, your first move is going to be in red, second move in purple, and third move in green. And I had placed some pawns there, and just to practice how the knight moves. And I found that the kids were more able to, were better able and better prepared to show me how the knight moves with us. But as discussed previously, I'm sure the digital assignments as well will work very nicely. Here you can see that children also like to show their personalities. So here it was just to note the chess pieces. Can you label them? Can you find them? Also note that children sometimes have very poor figure ground and background. So if you're putting them in a packet, it's challenging that, which is sometimes a good thing, just to take the pieces out of a bag. The next one is they always do chess assignments, and then they have homework. And you can see Lyric is very, very excited that he solved his maths problem. They also get awards, and that's very important that they get certificates, awards, and stickers, that all the efforts are being acknowledged. And also that the parents also are part of this process and gets very proud when their child is achieving. We also have forms so that we can get some feedback from parents. But as I said before, sometimes we find that parents are not very forthcoming in how their child is doing. And there are some parents that are very appreciative of this project. So some of my observations, we found that children were motivated to come to lessons. I think my ego took a bit of a knock because sometimes they were more motivated to come to the chess lessons than my social groups or my speech lessons. I found that they needed demonstrations and lots of repetitions. And sometimes the week's events influence their participation in the lesson. So maybe a teacher was absent and I had them on Thursday. The child will say, go back Sunday, because he just wanted the week to be as how he predicted it to be, but he was upset that his teacher was absent. Sometimes if it was that this was the week that they have maybe book fair, and they are dressed in characters. So when they come into the chess room, they feel quite disorientated because it didn't happen before the predicted lesson, you know, with the transition. So you have to take that into account and calm them down and prepare them and talk about exactly what happened at your book fair and how does, and now it's finished. So we just stopped and now it's back to our chess lesson, just so that it orientates them a bit. I found that, as I said before, that the words I choose were very important to provide explanations. So like with pawns, you know, we say forward and we say forward one, but from or forward two squares. So, but from a child that is sitting at the white side, he felt that his pawns were going higher and the black pawns were coming lower. So it's important to listen to the child and to acknowledge that, yes, his understanding of how the pawn moved and how he worked around the chessboard was correct according to his words. I found the more competent children were sometimes slightly less motivated and wanted the lessons to move at a faster pace. And here what I did was try to get a buddy system. So if they finished, they can help their friend or sometimes help me. The room had to be structured, well organized, and less distracting at all times. And the fact that the children were always motivated by rewards and stickers and also competitive games. So although the children were shown how the pieces move via demonstration using the floorboard and visual cards, it was found that when worksheets regarding which piece to capture was used, the younger children needed individual assistance regarding the moves that captures the piece. So as I said before, you can't take it for granted that they would be able to do this, the worksheet part. Sometimes you have to go back and give them that support. And also constantly assess why is it that the child cannot do this, and then you'll realize where the support actually is needed. Always revise and reteach the lesson if you have to. Some children purposely avoided a capture, especially if the opponent was a good friend, and I thought that was quite interesting to note. And the children felt it difficult to separate their own feelings of affection from the context of playing the game. So with some of I found that sometimes YouTube videos on playing chess, especially with animation, helped, and then the use of logic boards provided valuable. It was quite valuable in providing children with some visual support. I can't tell you how valuable these green and red magnets are, just to show, as mentioned previously, the go and the stop of each piece, and especially when it came to checkmate and check. Magnetic arrows also have been proven to be useful for exactly where they move. Use of colorful counters, as I've shown you before, aided the understanding of chess values and concepts such as files and ranks. In some groups, the children adopted a buddy system where their buddy would check if they placed the pieces correctly. This is before a chess puzzle, which never happened before, where they're showing me that they actually care about their friend or their classmate to make sure we all are on the same page. And it was pleasing to know that their social interaction improved in this way as well. So what I've done is I actually asked my children just to tell me something about what they felt about chess. Now, I can't give you 32 videos because I know time is limiting. So I just chose a few of them.
I think we cannot hear the sound of the video.
Oh, sorry. Can I make that? Let me just see if I make it a bit. Oh, sorry. Yes, sir. And sometimes make it better. Is that better?
Yes, yes, now we can hear it.
Okay. I'll just go back. Sorry.
I'm afraid the sound disappeared again.
Okay. Is that better?
I cannot hear it.
That is, I think, how. Is that better? That's the loudest I have.
No, unfortunately.
Okay, I'll just tell you what he says.
Please.
Okay, so he said his name is Isaiah. Wait, let me just. So my name is Isaiah. My surname is Chetty. I like chess, moves, and playing with my friends and have fun. I hope you can hear this one. Can you hear it?
No, just the picture.
Sorry. Okay, so he says, "Hi, I'm Tara Alpale. I love to play chess because actually it's a good game. It makes me." Let me just read the other part. It makes me think properly, and it's fun. I hope you can hear. I just asked the teachers to give me some contributions. And this is what Mrs. Van Heerden in the Autistic 5 class said. I hope you can hear it. Can you hear that?
Partially, but not the whole sound.
She says, my learners range between the ages of 11 and 13 years old. Academic levels is grade R to grade 3. The learners are in the chess program for 2 years. Oh, sorry.
Auntie, I think that you have this option to share the sound when you return to the share the screen page in the very beginning when you start to share your screen.
Okay.
You can
So must I go out of this?
Or you can just tell us what she said and we will just note it for the future.
Okay. So oh man, sorry. So she said that this is what she's noticed in the classroom. There's been an overall improvement. overall improvement in the learner's communication skills. So she said last year, a learner could communicate only using echolalia, and this year he communicates using 3 to 5 sentences. There's been an improvement in their social skills, and they are now starting to support and help each other. In maths, there's been a marked improvement in their confidence. She said there's no more sore tummies during the maths lessons. They are starting to work independently. I think she's almost done, sorry. She said they are very eager to go to chess lessons. She was more emphatic, sorry. Said they never forget their chess books, and they never forget to do their homework like in other lessons and subjects. Okay. This is Mrs. Finn. This is an older group, the autistic 6. So she introduces herself as Vanessa Finn. So she said that they've started learning chess about 2 years ago. So she said it's been amazing for them. And so she said they grown in confidence. They've become more outspoken. So a challenge for autistic children is their social skills. So she said it was awesome to notice the improvement in their social skills. They are more willing to They're more willing to communicate with each other. So chess affords them the opportunity to work with other learners. And it is amazing to see the change in them. So she asked her learners what they enjoy about chess. So some of the comments were, chess makes me smart. So she says that one of the learners also said that chess helped him to think before he can do his work. So said that when it comes to the chess lesson, they're very excited to go, and they really enjoyed their chess lesson. And she thanks FIDE for the opportunity that you have afforded us at the Brown School. So some comments from the parents. So this is Anakin in the autistic 6, and the mom says that he knows his chess moves and he can play against me as well. He will get better with time and practice, and he enjoys chess. This was a very interesting child. She was around 13 years old when she joined our school, and she was very, very reserved. She would speak in a very, very soft voice. It was impossible to hear her. And the mom says that, according to my observations, she's doing very good in chess program. She's enjoying doing her chess homework. She does it herself. She doesn't need help. And this defines confidence. And thank you so much. This was interesting. This was Nubile. The mom wrote that she's really struggling with chess when she gets home. We can't help her because we don't know chess, and she becomes discouraged. So I didn't receive much information from this mom, but I have taken it up with her and just talking through the homework and talking through exactly what the assignment was. And also this was a learner that didn't come to school as often, so we didn't have a very good fluidity in our lessons with her. And this is another little boy in the Autistic 5 who is also very reserved. It took a long time to get the chess concepts with him. He needed a lot of demonstration, a lot of practice and revision and facilitation. And mom says that he's enjoying chess and she would like him to continue with it in the new year. And she doesn't understand, and she thanks us for all our hard work. So we do have some limitations. So our access to digital technology is difficult, as the chess room is dedicated to chess, and the projector would be far more interactive. But having said that, Mr. Eric has donated our projector to our school. So we will be looking more into digital chess. Sometimes it's difficult to predict how children on the spectrum would conceptualize or understand a lesson. So preparation is key. And by preparation, we mean that everything has visual support. Every time you encounter a difficult behavior, you have to have this mantra in your head. What kind of visual support have I provided for this child? And if you haven't, then you know next time to do it. So that a child, when he leaves your room, you have definitely made a difference. He's feeling more confident, and he loved this, and he loved his lesson. As I said, parent contact is minimal, as the chess lessons are part of the school curriculum. So social events should be planned in future to encourage this, and we have included a little chess snippet when we are having prize giving at the end of the year, and I will be available, and Eric will be available so that they can have a chat to us. Diversity in skills and competencies and knowledge can be a challenge to ensure that the entire group has grasped a concept. As we said previously, you would be doing multi-level teaching, so it's important that the delivery of your lesson meets the child's understanding and knowledge. So we definitely want to thank the Infinite Project for this opportunity. We definitely know, and it's proven time and time again, that chess is a powerful tool to improve the social skills in children on the spectrum. And also, I must say thank you to our tutor, Eric, for all his support, and to FIDE. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Kathy.
No problem. Sorry for all the technical problems.
Everything is okay. Thank you for sharing your amazing and unique experience. As I always mention, that the diverse and lateral thinking of yours is always the subject of admiration of the team. So thank you very much for sharing it with us.
Pleasure, pleasure.
Thank you. We will continue with our next partner from Turkey, Melody Dinsel, child and adolescent psychiatry specialist from Istanbul University. Melody.
Hello. Hello, thank you very much. Thank you for the great presentations. It was very educative for me.
Kanti, can you please stop the sharing your screen?
Yes. Sorry, yes, I realized that, sorry.
Could you see my screen?
Yes.
No?
Yes, perfect.
Thank you, and hello everyone again. It's a pleasure to see our dear colleagues from all over the world, and I'd like to say a warm welcome to our new team members. Today, I will share with you our experiences in the Turkish leg of the project. I'm Melody. I'm a child and adolescent psychiatry specialist. I work at Istanbul Medical Faculty. First, I would like to briefly introduce our team. First of all, my deepest thanks to Özgür Salakoğlu, who has been with us throughout the process. All our team members are former national chess players. During this process, I, Sinem, and Milena have been teaching in turns. Hande Nur Şahin and I have also taken the role of coordinators. Our lessons have been ongoing since around April 2022 with 7 students. This year's 6 of them continue. Our lessons held on Saturday every week. Today, I want to talk about our experience in the project, both from the perspective of a child psychiatrist and a chess instructor. As a child psychiatrist, I encounter many children with autism in my clinic. However, having the opportunity to observe a child's learning process this closely is not always available to a clinician. Therefore, this process has been both very special and educative for me professionally. In this context, the first thing I would like to talk about is the difficulties children with autism experience in the process of learning chess and how we try to cope with these difficulties. The most common difficulty we encounter is the short attention span of children. Autism and ADHD, as you know, are very often comorbid conditions. Accordingly, children can get bored very quickly, lose their focus, and want to walk around the class during the lessons. So we generally try to cope with this by conducting dynamic lessons. We try to explain as fun as possible in our lessons and try to develop positive reinforcement with small gifts at the end of the day. But we make sure these gifts are either non-material or low value, like colorful stickers, as you can see in picture. Also, explaining the rules of the class clearly in advance work quite well. You should not stand up during the lesson. You should raise your hand to ask questions, etc. Since children with autism do not have difficulty adhering to rules and rituals, this solution generally works. When children's attention is distracted, it may be good to switch to paper exercise or switch to the chessboard if they are working on paper exercise. In addition, we conduct lessons in duration like 15, 25 minutes as recommended in the FIDE guidelines, and always take breaks. Also, 4 of our 6 students are currently receiving treatment for ADHD, and I can say that this has been very helpful to us. Another major problem is that some children struggle with emotion regulation problems. This is a common issue in disorders like autism and ADHD. And of course, the children's lives outside of class significantly affect this situation. We try to deal with this situation through a multidisciplinary approach in general. For example, if there is a lesson where a child shows unusual irritability or unwillingness to participate in the lesson, we try to arrange a meeting with the family, teacher, or doctors to manage such situation in the class. We use methods such as distraction, approaching the child calmly to ask what they want to do or tell, or using, again, positive reinforcements. For example, like a snack or colorful sticker for those who behave well until the end of the lesson. I would like to give a case example here. While our lessons were ongoing, the father of one of our students passed away, unfortunately, and the child entered a period of mourning. During this time, serious behavioral problems emerged in the classroom. This included frequently interrupting the class by talking, occasionally crying, screaming, or yelling when the teacher was attending to another student. Unfortunately, the intervention we made during the class did not prove any beneficial. So we spoke with the family and invited the child to our clinic. We adjusted his medication and arranged for regular session with a child psychiatrist. And then we observed that the case gradually improved over time, and the treatment is still ongoing. This situation was, I think, a concrete example of a behavioral problem that arises from factors outside of the classroom. We also face challenges in lessons with difficulties in understanding and using abstract concept in autism, especially when explaining lessons, we can unintentionally use abstract concepts or idioms that cannot be understood. We try to maintain our concrete language as much as possible during the lessons. In terms of chess, we expected difficulties in concept like impossible moves, the value of a king, but our students grasped this concept quickly and very well. However, I can speculate that we might struggle with this sacrifice concept as lessons progress. We will see, I guess. However, we also see difference and challenges in visuospatial skills. Here, I would like to give another case example. One day before the lesson, I saw one of our students refusing to enter the class, screaming and kicking the elevator next to it. No matter what I did, he did not calm down. I also could not convince him to join the class. In this case, we called his waiting parent outside, and he agreed to sit in the waiting room with his parents for a while. In the second half of the lesson, when I asked him what happened before, he said they told me that I had to crack the password to use the elevator. And then I tried to crack the elevator, but I couldn't. Then that moment I realized that it was a temper tantrum caused by misunderstanding the concept of cracking a password. This was an interesting example of challenge with abstract concepts for me. Another difficulty we faced in lesson regarding autism is the issue of insistence of sameness. We can explain this as these children usually being very attached to their routines, their wanting their belongings and orders to be same. Some example we encountered in the class are they wanting to play with the same chess sets every week, wanting to sit in the same chair every week, experiencing temper tantrums when given a different pencil. In addition, we realized that some children may not know or generalize some basic concepts in terms of chess. Most of our students had a lot of difficulty with chessboard concepts like corner, edge, center, diagonal. So repeatedly revisiting these topics can be very beneficial for them. Now let's talk about our positive feedbacks. First of all, watching children get acquainted with chess and develop day by day is an incredibly beautiful experience. Observing firsthand that children's self-confidence increased, that they came to chess lovingly, they feel better about themselves for knowing chess is priceless. Since the project started, we have received very nice feedback from centers manager, our educator, and parents. We hear that children love chess and that their relationship with each other as a chess group are very good. Things also seem to be going quite well in terms of chess skill. The children have learned the basic concept of chess. We have finished the FIDE training book with our first group. We are currently working on topics like double attacks and pins. Our dream is to see our students in a tournament. Moreover, as you can see, most of the time our students can share what they enjoyed or learned about chess non-verbally rather than verbally. I think it's very important to pay attention to these tips while working with these children. I would also like to discuss also our experience with online education. It was a very good experience for me also. This summer, we revisited basic topics with the children for a month via online classes. The main reason for doing this was that the children forgot many concepts during the 2 months break in the previous summer and needed a lot of repetition in the new academic year. Our online education experience was quite successful. We used Zoom and Chessmatek for our chess lessons and encountered almost no behavioral issue, possibly because the children were under their family supervision in their familiar home environments. However, I have a concern about the overwhelmingly positive outcome of our online education process. We are aware that chess can sometimes enhance introversion and can diminish social interactions. Therefore, it's vital to offer chess training for children with autism in group settings rather than through individual or online education. This is my humble opinion. While I believe group-based chess interaction can be particularly beneficial for children with autism, online education offers the advantage of reaching a much larger audience with ease. So this presents a challenging decision whether to prioritize the group settings benefits or the expansive reach of online platforms. I'm keen to hear your thoughts and engage in a discussion on this topic. Finally, I would like to show you a poster I presented at the Psychiatry Congress this year. Our poster where I talked about our progress so far in the project was featured at the European College of Neuropsychopharmacology Congress with over 5,000 participants worldwide. And I would like to thank FIDE once again for this opportunity and all the support, all for this great project. Again, and that was all for me. Thank you very much for listening.
Thank you very much, Melody. It's always a pleasure to see your experience and to see all those challenges which you cope with. And of course, there are no small achievements in this project and this process. And I would like to thank you very much for new approaches which you try and share with us, like online lessons, and for expanding our project mission around the world, participating in such important events like Congress. Thank you very much. We presented all the speakers for today, and as I promised, if you have some questions or maybe you wanted to clarify some moments with our experts, please, you are free now. You can raise your hand in the chat or write a message if you have something, or just unmute and ask a question. Are there any? Everyone is shy or just digesting the information, I suppose. Okay, anyway, if you have any questions, you can address me directly and feel free to contact me in any way you are interested or confused with the methodological guide or with any other step on implementing the project. It was a real pleasure to see you today and to meet you. And I thank you all once again for your time, for your support, assistance, and for your initiatives in our great project. I wish you all a nice weekend, and I will share with you the recorded video and the presentations as promised a bit later. So let's keep us in touch and continue our perfect adventure with the Infinite Chess family. Goodbye.
Thank you
very much. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
Thank you.